Hi, Misha here, and kind of last minute, actually not just J-Row, but the women in our lives too came out for Memorial Day, and not really out for shooting, but brought a couple of guns, because hard to resist, including this one, something that you used to actually see on the channel more when Jay was around, but a Kel-Tec. But I know these are popular, and they are fair priced, and I do think they're quite innovative. And this is the current, or Generation 3, Sub2000, and I'm sure you guys probably know this gun better than I do, but you have this piece here that separates it from the original Gen 2s, and the Gen 1s of course were in the ban era. Yeah, talk about that more later, but meant for backpacking and what have you gun. 9mm, has a manual hold open, but no automatic, cross bolt safety. It's a trigger, and of course it takes Glockazines, and the newer versions are threaded 1/2x28, at least we're allowed by law. No sights, but you have top and bottom 1913 rails plus M-lock on the side. And fun story, before we shared this, when I was getting these from the distributor, they had them on sale, and the color was listed as blue. Now normally you'd think, you know, blued metal, even though it's not blued. But since it is Kel-Tec, I could see them actually doing this in blue. So we actually double checked to make sure it wasn't like Smurf blue. Is it? I don't know, maybe it's pink. Either way, let's put some rounds to it, and let's start off with the OEM mag as it is, because I don't have a lot of faith in it. Alright, let's give it its first go. No hold open, but yeah.
That's more than I thought it was going to do.
No, yeah, especially with this factory mag. Yeah, the first mag actually did well. And as always, if you could, please do like, share, and subscribe. And with that, let's try it with the standard Glock brand Glockazine. It's definitely hotter out here than they were saying. Have to take the safety off. Safety works. Well, it works, but I do smell the cook-off of grease or something. Anyway, guys, if you'd like to help support us as we keep on, check out the link to Patreon, too. Alright, so first couple of mags, pretty good. Of course, you have a trigger guard that just hinges down to break it over. And the earlier ones, you just fold it over like this, and Bob's your uncle. But the problem is, well, that's that. And of course, the reason for this rotation, and I do think it's kind of neat that the M-lock slot doubles as the catch. That's a good actual use, and you can physically just do it, but there's a spring-loaded button here too. But the whole point of rotating it like that is so you don't have to mount and dismount an optic or even iron sights all the time. So you can have it folded over. So let's throw something quick on here and just kind of show you how that is. So I just literally grabbed, I think it's an old primary arms or whatever, out of bucket. And of course, with it mounted on, there's no folding. But there you have it. And another kind of neat thing I think they did, you don't have to fold it that way. You can actually rotate it either way, which kind of maximizes your storage. Now, do you have something kind of making it more lumpy? Yes, you do. If you really wanted to, you could put like low profile folding sights on, but I get it, it's an option. And it is pretty mechanically clever and simple. Now, you can't deploy until you have it positioned correctly, just because of how it locks up. And of course, one thing, you do have to mount your optic pretty far forward, but that's kind of just how something like this is going to be. So let's try that again. One thing I did like too is there's this kind of very small hand rest right here. And we're trying another Glock brand mag. Well, another successful test.
You left your optic cover on.
Darn it. That explains so much why I can't see. It's all black! And just for fun, let's call this a full-size mag. Well, I'm going to point out the safety. When it's on, it doesn't block the trigger. It actually completely disengages it. And I actually appreciate that. There we have it. You can hold it open like that.
It runs.
So far, yeah, it does. So that was a whole box of ammo through it. It's warm, but the optic not come loose, and I just hand tightened it really with a wrench. Nothing special, no Loctite. It's got a little oomph to it. I mean, this is not the most comfy butt plate in the world, and this is a very light little gun, but so far she is holding up pretty good. I think you can, yeah, you can slam her down if you don't want to use the button. And the idea is, yeah, you can stow it in a backpack or a wet bag or whatever. This is really something you'd probably prefer Fox did, but he's not here. It's too hot for him. Ooh, that is a hot chamber. I guess it's easy to make sure it's empty though. Toasty. We're gonna let this cool off for a minute and do a little bit more before it's over. Alright, we let this sub 2K cool off, so do a little more with it. There, I was shooting the set me earlier, and muscle memory's a thing.
It was like a little pea shooter by comparison.
Oh yes. You can charge it with the safety on. Also, back to the factory mag, I just assumed it was a 10 rounder. Turns out it's 14, which is okay. Well, it even worked fully loaded. And this had to be the last mag out of the day. And that's safety check again. I don't know why, guys. This seems like it should be fire. And this seems like it should be safe. I think it's just because of where my thumb falls. Oh well, I mean, it's a training thing, but it seems... I don't know why. Anyway, I'll shut up. There we have it. Alrighty, guys. As I said, we didn't have a ton of time, but we put 2 full boxes through it. Fine. Trigger is still just trigger. Optic didn't work loose. And even though J-Ro wasn't really keen on the whole, you know, cheap plastic gun thing, he had to admit that is a pretty slick way of letting you keep an optic on. And you could do some pretty neat low profile or low snags. I'll confess, even back in the day when I was getting into guns, that is very hot. That is a new hot barrel, guys. I've done hot barrels on the muzzles before. I've never hot barreled a chamber.
Yeah, well, usually when you're done, the chamber isn't sticking out the gun.
Yeah, usually this is a safe area. So yeah, if you are shooting these and fold it up, now luckily it's not too there, but yeah, it gets a little warm. Just cool off.
Its insides are on the outside.
So what's its pronouns? Anyway, yeah, that is hot. And your hand just kind of wants to go there. What was I saying? Yeah, maybe next time I should try it with a suppressor. The grip is intentionally kind of short, but that's so Glock 19 mags will fit. If you had a full length grip, then you can only use 17. Now, I do believe it's too long for Glock 26 mags, but I could be incorrect. But yeah, we tried it with a couple of sizes of Glock mags, and I'm actually surprised the factory mag is A, not a low cap, and B, worked, because it really feels like crud. But that's okay. It's an interesting alternative. As I was saying before, I hot barreled myself in a reverse way. When these first came out around 2001, 2002, of course, it was still during the ban, so you didn't have a threaded barrel. But what was neat about them, because you couldn't have folding stocks back then, this was a really good way to get a little compact gun with still staying compliant to the assault weapons ban. And being able to take standard mags, standard ammo, was pretty cool. Back then they had iron sights because rails weren't near as big of a deal at all. And I'm happy that Kel-Tec has kept up with trends, M-lock, rails, threading. They're a really good idea, guys. The guys at Kel-Tec. They're innovative. My problem with Kel-Tec is on the production end, and mostly to do with their QC, and to a lesser extent their materials, because they do make these at a price point. I mean, this is like a $400, $450 retail gun, new. To do that, the barrel is kind of a two-piece design, certainly not cold hammer forged chrome line like that. It's just, yeah, simple barrel. The plastic they use definitely feels more plasticky. But again, meeting a price point. I've said for years, to me, a dream pairing would be Kel-Tec's R&D and idea department and Glock's manufacturing and quality assurance department. Because Glock has the opposite problem. What they make very well, but they are so slow, even standing still when it comes to innovations. Sorry, but they are. I mean, I don't know about people say, well, they did this. Usually an innovation for Glock is a new caliber, or maybe a new finger groove or texture pattern, or a new color. Nothing wrong with that, but this is truly innovative. Doesn't mean it's good, but, and this is not the first or the last gun that Kel-Tec did that for. So that's why, even though I do military guns, I am also interested in guns for their mechanics, and Kel-Tecs are often very mechanically interesting, and they're priced at a point where anyone can afford them, and I do respect that, and they haven't really gone up even in 2024, at least not compared with everything else. So, you know, credit where credit's due, guys, and credit where credit's due. You saw every round shot, no problems at all. We tried, I think, 5 mags. All fit fine. Yeah, it's what it is. I'm sure we'll do more with this. I actually want to get this in Fox's hands. But what do you think? Do you own a Sub-2000? If so, which generation? And which do you prefer? The Gen 2s are still out. Do you prefer the Gen 2 or the Gen 3? I'd like to know. Anyway, appreciate you hanging out. Hope everyone had a good Memorial Day. If you could, like, share, and subscribe. And I'd like to help support us. Check out Patreon. This is Misha, and we're gonna go have dinner. Catch you very soon next time. Hey guys, we were packing this up, and Jared pointed out the hot barrel thing is kind of a thing, and it got me thinking, since this is meant to be kind of a backpack gun, one small and cheap accessory Kel-Tec could include would just be like a kind of a rubber thing that goes over the end, kind of like you see for some AR mags that goes over the top. I don't know. I thought it would be neat. What do you think? I mean, heck, maybe even a full-size bag. But anyway, a little postscript there. Just thought I would mention it. Something we thought about as we were getting ready to go. Alrighty. Catch you very soon next time.